This is why we titled the video the way I did. What's the plan for Austin's economy growers now? So there's this group in Austin. They run about a 39, almost $40 million a year plan to grow Austin and get developments and developers to come here. They were part of the group that got Oracle and Tesla and Samsung to come here in the 90s. So these are the people that are really trying to get a lot of these businesses. What they're saying in this article makes a lot of sense. So as Austin got Samsung back in the 90s and other businesses started coming here, other municipalities from around the country would come and look and meet with them to figure out what they were doing. And so now it's harder for Austin to lure some of these people. I think there was a data factory or whatever that went to Ohio or Cincinnati, somewhere like that last year that was looking at Austin. So you have a lot of these businesses that had been looking at Austin are now getting pulled away. So what this article basically goes through and talks about is all the challenges they run into. Obviously, they talk about the market, but as the market as a whole, they say the market price is dropping and actually does a lot for these businesses that are coming here. So expect to see even more businesses moving to the Austin area because affordability is slightly better. Again, 7.3% interest rates are really what's making it more unaffordable than anything. But what they're saying is that they had a 142% increase in growth since they really started luring a lot of these semiconductors here. So what's interesting is you have I think it was Biden and Harris that passed that CHIPS. Was that right, Ian? Was that the Biden-Harris administration that passed the CHIPS Act to try to get some of these chip makers here in the United States? So what they're talking about is they're really still trying to lure a lot of these people. We just they got rid of at the end of last year, the tax incentives for businesses. They just have a new version of that this year. So they're still trying to woo people here. The biggest problem that they're running into in Austin, and this is why I really, really laughed at that article about the Bay Area, was the fact that their biggest complaint for Austin and the growth of Austin is three things. Number one, good labor that can work some of these higher tech paying jobs. So the talent pool for that. Secondly, infrastructure of Austin. So as they're trying to bring these businesses here, Austin itself is not the one trying to lure and give the tax incentives, which will go to my next little article here. It's the cities around Austin that are doing it. So that's why we saw Samsung go to Taylor, which is Williamson County. There was questions earlier about Disney, right? So we talked about Disney going to Gerald. We found out that that's going to be a big community, whatever they're doing over there. It's a community. It's not that. But if you look, Elon Musk is building a lot more stuff in Bastrop County. They are moving stuff to Del Valley. So it's really the east side of Austin where we're seeing this development. Kyle is seeing a lot of the development for these. So it's not necessarily Austin itself that's wooing these people in. It's the counties around Austin. And then it was talking about how San Antonio is stealing a lot of this business as well, because San Antonio has the opportunity to continue to grow. So we've been talking about San Antonio. We have really good referral partners that we work with at our company here in San Antonio, not San Diego. But yeah, so those are the things that really hold up Austin. It's the jobs, getting actual good quality people here that can work those jobs. Not that they're not good quality, but just qualified. And then the traffic are like the two biggest issues for them to get people here. And the affordability was one. They said it's come down. According to LinkedIn, hiring in Austin is down 20. Yeah, this is right. Lower than last year. But that's again. So that stat is a little skewed as well because. I'll go ahead, Ian.
Well, I was just going to ask, is that in comparison to other places that are considered growth cities, right? So like if you look at Austin compared to North Carolina, compared to like Boulder or some of these other places, Iowa, I think is one of them, Seattle, like is the hiring similarly down in those cities? That would be my question. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, and the question is, where compared to other cities, how much are other cities down? That's the question, because companies are being told that we're going to see a massive recession. the amount of to borrow money to keep companies afloat has gone from a really low price to now, what's the Fed fund rate, like 5.5%, 6.5%, whatever it is now. So in order to borrow the money to keep these businesses afloat, it's a lot more expensive. So that's part of the reason. What is it in the Bay Area? What is it in these other areas? You still have big businesses moving here. I mean, here's the next thing.
There's no next thing.
Yeah, no, I was
Yeah.
trying, it just wasn't clicking. So here's NXP. NXP is looking for more incentives. So NXP Semiconductor is seeking incentives from city as it considers further investment in Austin. So and NXP, I want to say NXP, one of their they had I think it was NXP, they had a building that UT owned, and UT took it back so they could sell it or do something with it. So they lost a location here. So they're still looking for a location for this. I think it was NXP. I may be wrong on that. But look, you have NXP going after those incentives. You're talking about 140 million 10-year tax break, but it's still going to bring a significant amount of jobs. And so this is what I'm saying is you have Austin becoming the semiconductor hub for a lot of these businesses. Now, is that going to bring a ton of jobs? I would hope so, but I don't think it's going to bring a ton of jobs. So Austin still needs to be pretty diverse in who they're bringing here.
Yeah, I'm always so curious, especially with something like semiconductors. And I think Aaron schooled me on this one. How many of these jobs need to have people local, specifically semiconductor, right? Because a lot of it, I mean, you've got manufacturing and then you have, like IP, white collar type stuff. Not much in between. It is recorded.
Yeah, this is going back out live. Atlanta, Austin, Boston, Chicago. So it doesn't really give me anything other than the cities. Yeah. So NXP to Southwest. So nothing in East. Yeah, I don't know what this was. It was a response to my question about the other cities. I mean, if all these other cities are seeing that low, then it's on par with what everybody else is doing.
Right. I was going to say, you look at Cleveland, come on, Cleveland, Chicago. I do not see those outpacing the growth of Austin. I mean,
yeah,
relative growth.
One thing that was in this article, Ian, that I thought was interesting is this is not the NXP one, the opportunity one. So one thing that it said in here that's pretty interesting is among the warning signs is the amount of vacant office space, affordability changes, and waning real estate market. Although he admits that the latter had to come to normalize companies, and people are also avoiding historically vibrant areas like downtown. So he basically said people are moving more towards like Round Rock and Dripping Springs versus moving downtown, and that's just because people are tired of things in downtown. So interesting information there. Thanks for watching this short of the Real Amigos podcast. For more live streams, hit here. For more clips, hit here. We'll catch you on the next one.